Why do I feel like this is something out of Star Wars?
Right?
Yeah, and so I went with Jordana, and it was an experience. It was fun actually. I mean, the camels were really nice, and the person who was selling the rides was very nice to us.
Wasn't one of the people leading the camels like 10 years old?
Yeah, it was like his son, I think.
I think it was
Yeah.
a father and son maybe or something. I remember thinking that person looks quite young to be handling such a large animal.
Tori,
Yes.
what did you think about swimming in the Dead Sea and not being able to do anything but float?
I thought it was pretty mind-blowing, honestly, because you can go in a place that has a high concentration of salt and you don't float like you would there. So it's pretty crazy. I also thought it was crazy how hot the water was too.
Yeah.
If I recall, the water was pretty hot, and just the entire day was really hot. It was also, on the way down, it was really steep. So trying to get down without slipping was a challenge as well. Oh, and the mud holes. Yeah, that's what just came to my mind. Every time you were trying to get mud, but you had to, like, anytime you take a step, your foot would get stuck, and it was almost like quicksand. Like, you had to get it out.
Didn't somebody lose a shoe?
I think it was me.
Flip-flops or
Yeah,
something,
I think I had to dig for my shoe, but
And I remember and I was going like kind of deep in the water, and I could just put my legs straight down and like pretend I'm walking, and I would just like float and just do that like I'm walking in the air.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. We had to cover each other in mud, and it was so fun. We'd bathe in it for like 10 minutes or
Right,
like
you had
5
to
minutes.
wipe it on first.
Yeah, wipe it on. And I remember wiping it on Grandma and Papa. That was so enjoyable.
My skin was so smooth afterward, though.
I know, but
Say
it was
that.
it was really.
But wasn't that the concession stand, if I'm not mistaken, that also had the very good ice? Jason, you could probably confirm you filled up on ice there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but didn't their electricity go out on that day as well?
we could get the smoothies.
Right.
Yeah, I remember it was very hot, and we were trying our best to enjoy it and really appreciate the historic aspect of what we were all
It
experiencing.
was burning through my shoes.
As we were incredibly hot. We finally get back on the bus, and we're all enjoying the air conditioning, and we had changed clothes, and we're finally on the bus. And do you remember we barely made it out, and Shweki made us get off the bus for a picture? And we all thought, oh, Shweki, no more. And we got off, and that is one of my favorite pictures of the whole trip, is us standing there together with the backdrop of the Dead Sea. I was appreciative in the end that he had us get out and take that picture. But
We went
What?
to the store
Yeah,
that
like
sold
Shwekey's. Yeah.
all of those products from the Dead Sea and all the minerals and things like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What was that called? The Aveda? Or
Yeah, something like that.
What did you think about the Western Wall?
I mean, it was
Who?
peaceful. It was very serene and a lot of emotion was there.
Yeah, it was.
Mhm.
A lot of emotion was there. It gave you a strong connection definitely to our religion, and actually being able to experience something like that, especially because in Sunday school, especially while we were younger, we were taught, and it was referenced a lot, and so you never really understood the importance of it and the meaning of it. And so actually being able to go there and experience it was very life-changing for sure.
Do you guys remember the city of Dan?
I do.
Eldan?
What was in the city of Dan that's so memorable?
Tell Dan, what do you remember about that?
So that was the first temple, if I remember correctly, and that was the walk that we went on and kind of saw kind of the beginning of religion, of the Jewish religion, and Abraham, if I remember correctly. So I might have to brush up on my history a little bit on that one. But
no, you're right. That was a very memorable part. Was the oldest arch in the world, and where they felt Abraham had definitely passed through that area. So one of the oldest parts.
the fact it's so
It was
amazing.
there was like 4 different cities, all that were older than the next, and there was like 4 different archaeological sites. Yeah, layers. It was just a really really neat place and with so much history.
Do you remember the waterfall?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was a
That
hard
was
water.
cold. That was very cold.
What do you remember about the waterfall?
I remember it was very strong.
Yeah, right.
Very strong.
I remember.
Right, when the bathing suit was falling.
Yes, that was what I'm hinting, but didn't say that fully.
It was much smaller than we all thought it was gonna be.
Yeah. Well, because we didn't walk all the way up. I think once you walked all the way up, it was kind of, you got to a different one and that type of thing. But yeah,
Right,
definitely.
So next time you go there, you could walk all the way up.
We first started walking and we heard like no water, no anything, and we were like, what is this gonna be? And it ended up being this. It was this nice little waterfall. It was really good
In the middle of the desert.
in the middle of a desert.
Yeah. I would like to know what everybody's memories are of Victoria and Shayna doing the Hebrew readings at the Western Wall, and
The blessings,
and how you all felt about that in itself.
B'nai mitzvahs.
It was, I think, a year and a half post my bat mitzvah, maybe 2 years. So I was kind of impressed by the fact that I could still do that and
Here, here.
complete it.
I agree.
So I thought it was really nice also being able to do it with Shayna and having that connection too, being able to share that experience. So that was quite memorable and very exciting for sure.
I mean, we were at the Western Wall. That's one of the holiest places where there's a real like connection to God, and you know where the second temple was, and it was really nice seeing. I mean, there were so many bar mitzvahs there. Like even while we were doing that, there was like, you know, maybe 15 other tables, and all of them had someone reading the Torah on it, and it was just so nice to be a part of that and to read the Torah with them. And it was really really nice to have Grandma and Papa do the blessing before the Torah and you know dress it. And the cantor was so nice. She was very very nice to us. And it was really really great experience.
Yeah, I remember music in the surrounding area of like the procession of bands and Hava Nagilas and people kind of celebrating.
Yeah, that's what I was
Like
thinking.
that was
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool to see because that's not exactly quite how we celebrate it. So it's pretty cool to see that.
Okay, I would like to talk a little bit about Braden. What are your thoughts about your
Lila.
talit, and Lila, your talit?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do.
Talit here. Talk
Yeah,
about
me
that.
too. Go ahead, Brandon. You can go.
Huh? Oh. Well, I just think it was really cool and like really special that we custom made our talits in Israel. And how we could just like custom make it and then get it shipped here. But it's just really awesome how that's where so many Jews are. And we got our talits there.
It was also different. Just to add something to that, I think was also very different compared to my bat mitzvah. Was I got my talit the day of, and I guess I knew about it kind of, so I got to kind of pick it, but it was definitely way different.
Yeah.
And being able to actually get it and figure out what you wanted, and design it in Israel was definitely very.
Lila, what are your thoughts about that?
I think it's very cool that I got to I have my own. I mean, Shayna used Papa Manny's, and right, and I think it's just very cool that I can show when I grow old, I can show my kids this and tell them all these stories about our Israel trip and how I got my first talit there. And you guys helped me pick it out, and I was there with the whole entire family, and Braden got his too. It was just a very special moment, and I'm so glad that it happened.
Was it easy for you to pick out the design you wanted?
It took me a while to find out.
It's good that store had a bunch of cool things.
And I just think it's special that me and Lila could do it at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like get it at the same time.
I agree.
I think Jordana had one other story she wanted to share.
I remember the Jordan River, about us not knowing. I mean, I knew we were at the Jordan River, but like not knowing where we were. And I mean, we saw a flag, but we didn't know what that meant. I think that's right. And I remember it being really, really cold. And that it represents Uncle Jordan.
I remember when we were walking in the water in those really deep, where they were trying to, miracle, how they connected from one spot to the other spot.
Spring to the center of the city.
The spring to the center of the city without knowing where each other were, because they had no like communication or anything. And we got to walk through all of that, and how it was and it was like pitch black, and we had these flashlights. And I remember like when, I don't remember who was in front, but I think that like the cousins were in front, and we were like, everybody turn off your lights, and then it would just become pitch black, and we just have to like feel our way through. And that was like very memorable and a very cool experience to have. And then like anything is possible, because like
I mean, there were so many miracles throughout this whole trip. It was insane how many things like pretty much coincidentally happened. But it probably wasn't a coincidence. When we were in Tzfat, we were walking through the city, and well, you should tell the story.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the stories I wanted to share. Big memory in Tzfat, where this is a city of Kabbalism, a city of mysticism, and don't consider myself or us mystics. And here we are visiting the birthplace of Kabbalism, and a beautiful temple there. And there's an art store there that we're just sort of wandering in and spending some time and talking to the keeper there, and find out that the artist in the back of the store went to the same high school as me, and we used to babysit him, and his mom and my mom went to kindergarten together. So here we are in the middle of this small town, a quiet town. There was nobody even around that day. Just run into somebody that I hadn't seen in 20 years from Boca
You lived
Raton.
with him for like a few months.
And he lived in our house for even a few months, and I hadn't seen him in about 30 years probably. It was just unbelievable. The other city, we could, plenty of other miracle stories. The other city that, really was incredible is Masada, and we haven't talked about Masada here, but Masada was just an incredible site.